So I'm going to tee up a story for you that is one of the things I was so excited about to be able to tell.
Hmm.
Um, so in 2012, there was a horrific storm in this area in New York City, and we are here at the beautiful, bizarre restaurant, the Ritz-Carlton
Yeah.
Nomad. And this area especially was really hit hard. It was Hurricane Sandy,
Yeah.
also known as Superstorm
Superstorm Sandy. Yeah.
Hurricane Sandy. So let me paint a picture. So I lived on the Upper East Side at the time in the 70s. The 70s on the east side of Manhattan, just to kind of paint a picture here, is actually above sea level. Okay?
Yeah.
But Upper East Side is below sea level and Lower Manhattan is below sea level. And there was a lot of hype and, battening down hatches and there was, you know, warnings to shutter inside and evacuation orders, etc.
Yeah.
And you and I had been friends a while already, and
Not everybody was following
I
those
know.
orders.
But we were, bouncing around,
Hmm.
see what the weathermen were saying.
Right.
And I remember telling my wife Abby, and I said, I really want to know what Lonnie's thinking. Now, painting the picture for my audience here, there's no one better dressed on television for news than Lonnie Quinn, like you are today. The
Button up.
perfect suit, the perfect shirt, the perfect tie, the pocket square. Okay, he's doing the weather. He's going to look great doing it, and it's a definitely a testament to you and your personality and the pride you have when you walk out the door. And you take that pride with everything you do, and I mean that sincerely because I know you as a friend, but
Thanks, pal.
everything you do, you take pride in. Now, so I know I painted the picture. No one looks better dressed than Lonnie Quinn. Perfect. Oh,
Okay.
I changed the channel. I put on channel 2.
What do you find?
I find Lonnie Quinn, jackets off, ties off, sleeves are rolled up,
Yeah.
and he's looking in the camera, telling everyone, "This is the granddaddy of all storms."
I got in trouble for that.
I know, granddaddy of all storms. People are going to die, and you were doing everything. Going back to everything you've said from the beginning of this sit down, you took it so seriously, everything you did. And you were observing the potential of the storm. You were observing things developing offshore. You saw these planets aligning, and you were saying to yourself, holy shit. You sung the warning bell. You told people how dangerous this is, including yours truly. We took it,
Yeah, yeah.
like you said, we ignored it. We took it very seriously.
I remember, Marty, when I was working in Miami at the Hurricane Center. I'm working with Max Mayfield, and he told me one of his biggest concerns. Okay, he was concerned about New Orleans. Well, we all know what happened with Katrina after.
Katrina, yeah.
Okay, he was concerned with the Florida Keys. They will get another monster one in the near future, I believe. And he was concerned about New York. And I said, New York. I said, I'm from the Northeast. Why New York? We don't have a big history. Now, we've had some big ones, right?
Sure.
But we don't have that kind of consistent history. He said, because they've just gotten too lackadaisical about it, and they just don't take it seriously. And there's going to be one that goes there. There will be one that goes there in our lifetime. Well, Max Mayfield, the soothsayer that he is, he's right. And when I was looking at the computer models, because that's really what we're working off. We're working off of data that we're getting from that storm, be it from buoys, be it from drop zones that the hurricane hunters are dropping from the aircraft into the storm itself.
Algorithms, right?
Exactly.
Scenarios.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. And look, all these computer models, whether you're talking about, okay, everyone knows about the European because the European nailed that storm, which they did. But there's also American models, the GFS or the Canadian model, all these different models, just algorithms, and you're punching in data from different layers of that storm. Which layer do you choose to pick? It all depends upon the models and things like that. So I'm looking at it, and there's really not consensus. Models are all over the place. There's one model that was on this from day one, and it's not the one you're thinking of. It wasn't the European. The European definitely got on it very early, but the number one model, and nobody thinks about this, it was the Canadian model. And I was watching that, and I'm watching it the whole time. No one in the world, it seems, is looking at the Canadian model. I'm like, boy, if this holds true,
If that scenario held true.
oh my God, Mark. And so then it's oh, it's a Sunday night. It's a Sunday night. Yeah, I'll never forget this. It's a Sunday night, and I'm working because the storm is offshore, right? It's offshore. And chances are on this Sunday night that it stays offshore, right? It'll be like an egg beater in the water, making our waves big, but somebody else, it's a storm for the fish. The Canadian had it curving, coming right to shore. The European curves it, brings it right to shore. And now I've got one really big player and another one to back it up. The big player is the European, but I'm like, we go on air right now. And some people might have this idea like, look, let's wait for another model run to see if we get, bona fide consensus. Maybe this is just an outlier, a crazy bit of data it's spitting out. I said, nah, I think this is going to come together. So we broke into coverage to talk about the severity of this. And I think I told you I got in trouble for a couple of reasons. I used alarming inflammatory language. I wasn't using words that I didn't think were true, but maybe I could have come up with a gentler way to say it. I just don't know how you say it other than dying.
People are going to die. Yeah.
And I wish
got my attention.
I wish that was wrong. I wish I had not been correct.
Hundreds of people died with hundreds of billions of dollars of damage.
That storm was a deadly storm.
Yeah.
And then I think I said also, portions of the Jersey Shore will not be there in the morning after the storm finishes with us. And a lot of the Jersey Shore
was not there.
I mean, we had roller coasters in the ocean, right?
But
it's also my timing, Marty. It's also my timing that I decide to go on air with this. It's mayhem. It's mayhem there, and it's also a weekend. There's not like a lot of people there. We end up going on air, and I go into 60 minutes. You don't touch 60 minutes at CBS News.
God,
you don't touch it. It's like rap, and
you're going into their time.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I wish I could have done it differently, and then I was told that my general manager wanted to see me. I was told that the president of the network wanted to see me.
That was Les Moonves.
Yeah. And
was known as a difficult character to begin with.
Yeah, I can only tell you that he and I always had a good working relationship. So I'm like, oh my God. So this is basically a career ender.
Yeah.
And
you thought for sure you're being fired.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you took 60 minutes off the air.
And then with that, the storm hit, and it did what it did, which was horrific. Yeah. And
sad day indeed.
I called Les's secretary, and and she was very nice answering the phone for me, and we talked about the storm, that whole thing.
It was very nice. That's very funny.
And then I said Les wants to see me, and she goes, oh, don't worry about that. Just forget about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you never had to actually go see him.
Well, yeah. And she said, I think he knows that.
It was the right thing to do. Yeah. Unsung hero, my friend. Unsung hero.
Well, you know what they ended up having me do? They had me, probably one of my biggest honors that I've ever received. I got asked to go and ring the opening bell on Wall Street. And it wasn't necessarily ringing the bell, but it's when they announce you, and all this thunderous applause comes up from these people that I don't know any of them,
That's what I mean. It was your call to action. And this is the story that I knew that had to be told. And it's a beautiful story. Unsung, who would have thought? From soap opera actor to unsung hero, right?
Yeah,
and it was all based on that little kid being in love with those clouds.
Yeah.
And you saved so many people, man. You saved so many lives.
Well, thank you for saying that. I don't know any of that. I do know that that was a defining moment in my career.
Yeah. Who would have thought by me noticing, oh shit, Lonnie has his sleeves rolled up.
No, because basically what you're saying is, because you've prefaced it by saying, Lonnie's always the greatest looking guy on TV. Now I turn around, he looks like hell.
Yeah, I got to take him seriously now.